Hello, Jay here. Welcome to Beginning Drums Chapter 2. All right, we're going to start off with rhythms and rudiments. Today we're going to continue on with our quarter notes, and we're going to also incorporate our quarter note rest, half note rest, and whole note rest. Okay, let's go ahead and start off with number 1. I am using my metronome. I have it on 75 beats a minute. I'm going to recommend repeat all of these 4 to 8 times and try your different tempos, slow, medium, and fast. Okay, I'm going to start off with number 1. For number 1, we're going to have all 4 quarter notes on bar 1. We'll have a whole note rest on bar 2, means we won't play anything for 4 beats. And then we'll have all 4 quarter notes for bars 3 and 4. Okay, here comes number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Okay, for number 2, we have all 4 quarter notes on bars 1 and 2. On bar 3, we have a whole note rest, means we won't play anything for those 4 beats. And then bar 4 is all 4 quarter notes. Here comes number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's take it to number 3. For number 3, we're going to start off with 2 quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 for bar 1, and then we'll have a half note rest. That's that rectangle pointing up, and that means we won't play anything for beats 3 and 4. That's 2 beats of nothing. Okay, bars 2 and 3, we'll play all 4 quarter notes, and then on bar 4, we have a half note rest on beats 1 and 2, and then we'll play quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. Here comes number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest, 3, 4. Okay, for number 4, we're going to start off with 4 quarter notes on bar 1. On bar 2, we have 2 quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest on beat 3 and 4. Bar 3 starts off with a half note rest for beat 1 and 2. We play quarter notes on beats 3 and 4, and then bar 4 is all 4 quarter notes. Here comes number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. Bar 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 5, we're going to incorporate the quarter note rest. That's that squiggle. For bar 1, we have quarter notes on beats 1 and 2, quarter note rest on beat 3, and a quarter note on beat 4. Bar 2 is all 4 quarter notes. Bar 3 has a quarter note on beat 1, a quarter note rest on beat 2, quarter notes on beats 3 and 4, and then bar 4 is all 4 quarter notes. Here comes number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, rest, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also want to point out, I recommend switching your sticks. Try to rotate them and get in a good balance too. You can also start off with your left or start off with your weaker hand too and compensate for that. Okay, let's take it to number 6. We're going to start off with 4 16th notes on bar 1. On bar 2, we have a quarter note rest on beat 1, and then quarter notes on beats 2, 3, and 4. Bar 3 has quarter notes on beats 1, 2, and 3 with a quarter note rest on beat 4. And then bar 4 is all 4 quarter notes. Here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 7, we're going to start off on bar 1 with all 4 quarter notes. We'll have a whole note rest on bar 2, means nothing for 4 beats. On bar 3, we have quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest on beat 3 and 4. And then bar 4 is all 4 quarter notes. Here comes number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Bar 3, 2. Rest, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's go to number 8. For number 8, we're going to have a quarter note rest on beat 1. We'll have quarter notes on beats 2, 3, and 4. Bar 2 has a half note rest for beats 1 and 2 with quarter notes on beats 3 and 4. Bar 3 has all 4 quarter notes, and then bar 4 is a whole note rest where we won't play anything for 4 beats. Here's number 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's take it to rudiments. Today we're going to learn about the single stroke roll, which is a great rudiment, very common. Basically, if I rotate my sticks, that's our single stroke roll. Now this can be a fast roll or it can be slower, but our goal today, we'll do some 30-second notes for fun and we'll make it real fast, but we can keep our tempo so it doesn't have to be crazy fast. Okay, let's go ahead and just talk about what the concept is. If you are a righty, let's say if we go right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, those would be your singles. Lefty, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. But we'll also balance both sides of it and be strong ambidextrously, which I recommend too. Okay, let's look at number 1. We're going to start off just with quarter notes, and I'm just going to rotate my sticks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going right, left, right, left. Okay, now you can do this for several times and then start over again with your left first, left, right, left, right. Or you can try to go right into it when you repeat, but it doesn't have to be a seamless repeating, switching your sticks for these examples here. So let's say if I go right, left, do that for 4 bars or so. And then I can switch it to my left, right, left, right. That's a good way to go, is just repeat each bar and then switch your sticks. Okay, now for number 2, we're going to do the same concept, but now we're going to make them into eighth notes. So eighth notes are going to be 2 notes on a beat, and we count them like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So when you see that plus sign, that's an and. And if I start with my right, it's going to go like this: right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So I'll count myself in, and I'm going to do a couple bars with right hand lead. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and right, left, 1, 2, 3, 4. Same thing starting with my left. 3 and 4 and left, right, left, right. Okay, let's take it to number 3. Now we're going to turn them into 16th notes, and the way we count our 16th notes, it's going to be 4 notes on the beat, and they sound like this: 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So if I start with my right, and if I go right, left, I'm just going to repeat that for each beat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do number 3, starting with my right. 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, now we're leading into our 30-second notes. So if we want to get 8 notes on a beat, you could just count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I also recommend when you're counting fast numbers for 7, you could just say sev. It helps a little bit. Okay, so if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. So for number 4, I put it into 2/4. It means we only have 2 beats per bar, and we're gonna have a quarter note rest on beat 2. So that gives you a little break right there. Okay, so here's number 4. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. Now, since we do have a rest, it was easier to switch my sticks, so I was rotating my sticks each time I went through, starting with my left on the next one. Okay, now let's go to number 5. It's going to be a similar concept, but we'll have the quarter note rest starting on beat 1. 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now also I tried to put in like where the way we count out our 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a. You can kind of see where the on this example where 2 E and a would fall, but there's in between notes. In between the 2 E and which I don't have like a rhythmic solfege for. So I'm kind of using that as a guiding, but you can count to 8 if you'd like, or just hear it. If you just hear, sometimes it's more just hearing and feeling that rhythm, but I don't necessarily have a way to count out each particular 8 note there with a solfege. Okay, now for number 6, we're just going to do the same concept, but now with no rest. So we'll do 2 beats of 30-second notes back to back. And for this one, I'm going to do it a couple bars, and then I'll stop and I'll switch my sticks. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 1, 2. Okay, here's number 6 a little faster. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2. So you can see they're gonna get pretty fast. All right, welcome to Beats and Fills. Today we're gonna learn the 4 on the floor basic rock beats. In chapter 1, we learned the basic rock beats. Now we're gonna do a similar concept, but instead of our bass drum being just on 1 and 3, we're gonna put it on all 4 beats, and the bass drum lies on the floor, so that's, I think, why they call it 4 on the floor. These are great beats. They're very powerful. They're great for rock. They're also really good for lots of different other styles too, from jazz and blues to dance music. It doesn't matter. It gets people moving, and you can also be subtle with it or really hard in their face. So let's go ahead and start the process. Okay, now for number 1, we're gonna do the basic quarter note 4 on the floor beat. Okay, now bass drums on every beat. We're still gonna have our snare on 2 and 4. That's the back beat we'll have for all of our beats throughout the whole book. Okay, now beat 1 is gonna be a bass drum and a hi-hat together. Beat 2 is gonna be a snare, bass drum, and hi-hat together. And that's a good thing to practice all 3 at the same time. And if they're a little off, that's okay. It'll all work out in our groove. Okay, now we're just gonna repeat that same concept for beats 3 and 4. So beat 3 will be a bass drum and hi-hat. And then beat 4 will be a snare, bass, and hi-hat. Okay, if we put all that together, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for beat number 2, we're gonna do the basic 8th note 4 on the floor beat. So similar concept, but now we're gonna be doing 8th notes in our hi-hat. And the way we're gonna count those 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And when you see those pluses, those stand for the ands on each beat, and it's right in the middle of the beat. So if we have a downbeat, 1, here's the and, would fall right after, 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, let's go ahead and try the beat. Here's beat number 2. We're gonna start off with bass drum on the downbeat of 1 with our hi-hat, 1. Here's the hi-hat by itself on the and. That's on the and of 1. Beat 2 is gonna be bass drum, snare, and hi-hat together. And then hi-hat on the and. Okay, let's repeat that same concept for beats 3 and 4. So beat 3 will be a bass drum and hi-hat. And then a hi-hat by itself. And then beat 4 is a bass drum, snare, and hi-hat. And then a hi-hat by itself. Okay, here it is really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. beat number 3, we're going to do the basic 16th note beat, 4 on the floor style. Okay, now on beat 1, we're going to have a bass drum on the downbeat of 1 with our hi-hat, and then we'll fill in the 3 16th notes after. Here's how we count those 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Okay, now on beat 1, bass drum and hi-hat, and then the E and a, all hi-hat. Okay, beat 2, we're gonna have bass drum, snare, and hi-hat on the downbeat, and then those 3 hi-hats, that's the E and a, and then if we repeat that again for beat 3, I'm gonna have my bass drum and hi-hat on the downbeat, here's the E and a, and then snare, bass drum, and hi-hat on the downbeat of 4, with the E and a, and we just won't put that pause, and we're gonna keep our 16th notes going, so here it is super slow, 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. All right, let's do some fills. For fill number 1, we're going to have quarter notes on beats 1 and 2 with a half note rest. On beat 3 means we won't play anything for those 2 beats. Okay, for the orchestrated fill, again, what we're going to do with each fill, first we'll do it all snare. The next bar is going to be where I put it somewhere on the drum set, orchestrated or arranged. And you could be using flams or combinations too. And then the third bar is for you to create your own fill using that given rhythm that's stated, but you can put your fill anywhere you'd like and use all the different elements of the drum set. So for my orchestrated set, for the whole drum set, for fill number 1, I'm gonna put a flam on the snare and then a flam on tom 1 on beat 2. Okay, now it's time for you to make your own fill. If we have 2 quarter notes on beats 1 and 2, let's say if we want to make, let's say if we want to put a cymbal in there. If we want to put a crash. On beat 1, you would just put an X sitting on top of the staff and circle it. That would be a crash on beat 1. And let's say if you want to put, I don't know, a floor tom on beat 2, you would just put a quarter note on that second to bottom space, and then automatically you have your own fill. And I definitely recommend write it in there with pencil too. Okay, for fill number 2, we're going to start off with a half note rest, means we won't play anything for beats 1 and 2, and then we'll do 2 quarter notes on our snare for beats 3 and 4. Okay, the way I orchestrated or arranged fill number 2, we're going to start off with that half note rest on beats 1 and 2. On beats 3 and 4, we're going to do a combination of bass drum and crash. Now, it's a really fun concept for the drums. It feels good too. So just sync it up in the same time. It's also a good way to reinforce your crashes and give it some bottom end. Now, a crash by itself sounds awesome. With bass drum, kind of drives it in a little bit, so it becomes a habit sometimes for us drummers. But don't get me wrong, you can also just hit your crash all by itself. Sounds really good too. Okay, so I'm going to basically do that concept for beats 3 and 4, bass drum and crash. Okay, for fill number 3, we're going to have quarter notes on snare for beats 1, 3, and 4, and we'll have a quarter note rest on beat 2 where we won't play anything. The way I arrange this fill for the drum set, I'm going to put beat 1 quarter note on tom 2. We have that quarter note rest on beat 2. Beat 3 gets a quarter note on tom 1, and then beat 4 has a quarter note flam on the floor tom. fill number 4. We're going to start off with a quarter note rest on beat 1, and we'll have quarter notes on our snare for beats 2 and 3 with another quarter note rest on beat 4. Okay, the way I arranged fill number 4 is I put, well, after the quarter note rest on beat 1, we're going to do a snare and hi-hat together combination for beat 2, and then a flam on tom 2 for beat 3, and then that quarter note rest on beat 4. Okay, now we're going to combine our beats and fills. We're going to do 4 bars of each beat into one of my given fills, and I'm always going to give you the orchestrated fills for basically the first 3 fills right there. Now you can do any fills you like. If you want to do my snare fill, if you want to do my arranged for the drum set fill, or if you want to do your own fill, you're welcome to it. The main concept is for us to count 4 bars of a beat and then play a 1-bar fill. Okay, now the last part is always great for us to improvise some fills on our own. So take your 4 bars of your basic 4 on the floor beats, and once you repeat it 4 times, just let it flow and make up your own drum fill, but try to keep it a 1-bar fill and try to keep your beat going, and you're counting those beats or you're feeling them, and then back to your beat. So as I give you those examples for fills, we plugged them in. Now it's time for you just to kind of do your own fill and see what happens. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. You can try some different things, keep trying them again, but this is building us into having our own improvisational concept for our drum fills and letting it flow and doing what feels good at that time. All right, welcome to the study. We're going to keep working our 4 on the floor beats for this study and try some different concepts and switches and ways to really get to know it. Okay, for the first example, we're just going to play 4 bars of the basic quarter note 4 on the floor beat. For number 2, we're going to do 4 bars of the basic 8th note 4 on the floor beat. For number 3, we're going to do 4 bars of the basic 16th note 4 on the floor beat. Okay, now for number 4, we're going to do a switch exercise. We're going to start off 4 bars, basic quarter note 4 on the floor beat, and then we're going to switch it just into our normal basic quarter note rock beat. So no 4 on the floor once we make that switch. Okay, for number 5, we're going to do 4 bars of basic eighth note 4 on the floor beat, and then switch it just to our basic eighth note rock beat. Again, removing that 4 on the floor bass drum, just keeping our bass drum on 1 and 3 once we make that switch. For number 6, we're going to do 4 bars of basic 16th note 4 on the floor beat, and then we'll switch it into a regular regular basic 16th note beat without the 4 on the floor. All right, for the next 3 numbers, we're going to be doing a switch from our hi-hat to our ride, keeping the 4 on the floor beats going. So for number 7, we're going to do basic quarter note 4 on the floor beat on our hi-hat 4 times, and then switch it, same beat, to the ride 4 times. For number 8, we're going to do 4 bars of basic eighth notes, 4 on the floor, into 4 on the floor basic eighth notes on the ride. For number 9, we're going to start off 16th note 4 on the floor basic on the hi-hat, and then switch it to 4 bars on the ride, same beat, 4 on the floor 16th note basic. Okay, for the next 6 numbers, we're going to be doing some fills using 4 on the floor underneath our fills. So for number 10, we're going to do quarter notes in our snare with 4 on the floor underneath it in our bass drum. So those will all be at the same time. For number 11, we're going to do eighth notes in our snare with bass drum playing 4 on the floor under it. So we will have some notes that aren't syncing up with our bass drum, those notes that fall on the end of the beat. For number 12, we're going to do 16th notes in our snare with bass drum hitting on every beat, 4 on the floor underneath it. So there will be a lot of snare notes without our bass drum for that one. Okay, for number 13, we're gonna start to combine some rhythms. So we're gonna keep that bass drum on all 4 beats, and we'll do 2 beats of quarter notes in our snare and then 2 beats of eighth notes in our snare. For number 14, we're gonna do 2 beats of eighth notes in our snare to 2 beats of 16th notes in our snare, keeping those bass drums on every beat. For number 15, we're gonna have 4 on the floor bass drum with beat 1 having a quarter note in our snare, beat 2 has eighth notes in our snare, beat 3 has 16th notes in the snare, and then beat 4 has a quarter note in the snare. Okay, for the last 3 numbers, I set us up some exercises to work our 4 on the floor beats and play some drum fills in between, keeping that 4 on the floor. So for number 16, we're gonna do 4 bars, basic quarter note, 4 on the floor on the hi-hat. We're gonna do a quarter note fill in our snare, keeping those bass drums on every beat just 1 time, and then switch it up to your crash for basic quarter note 4 on the floor 4 times. For number 17, we're gonna start off eighth notes, basic 4 on the floor beat on our ride 4 times. We're gonna do an eighth note fill 1 time with bass drum on every beat, and then we'll switch it up to our crash for our eighth note, basic 4 on the floor beat 4 times. Okay, for the last one, number 18, we're gonna do our basic 16th note beat on the ride 4 times. We'll do a 16th note fill on our snare just 1 time with bass drum on every beat underneath it, and then switch to your hi-hat for 4 times of the basic 4 on the floor 16th note beat. All right, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you for chapter 3. Cheers.